Well, there's never a shortage of shows or sights and sounds throughout this city, but for the next few hours, all eyes are glued to Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas. Today, boy, what a matchup. Two NFL franchises with so much history, so much tradition, getting set to do battle here. As it'll be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Two one-loss teams set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Room to maneuver at the 35. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0.
Raiders 7, 49ers nothing.
On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. Now Watkins on the return. Oh, good-looking return set up here. And he goes out of bounds after a solid return to the 45-yard line.
Well, you gave up the first touchdown of the game, but how about the response? Big-time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
It's caught by Mike Evans. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
I tell you what, when you're down on the scoreboard, you've got to look to your stars, and that's what they do here to start the drive. I wouldn't be surprised if they looked his way a few more times in short order. That one, well designed, and it's a quick first down.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. That'll give him 8 that time. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Get set, yellow.
Here's Purdy. Pass taken in by his big receptions for him, and it's another first down. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
And he takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
2nd and 6. Throwing here, Purdy. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Back to throw, Purdy. That one out wide and intercepted. Picked up by Elijah Molden. And the Raiders are going to take possession here at their own 3-yard line.
And that felt like a little extra pressure on that third down attempt, and their mistake cost them points because they're inside the red zone. So you know you've got at least a field goal waiting for you. And in this case, they end up with nothing.
The drive will begin with a run by Genty. And they'll get him down up past the 15. They were looking for a cushion from that end zone. He gave it to him. 15 big yards.
I guess it's good we can't really read the mind of the defensive coordinator now, huh?
Had him pinned back there deep, give up that run. Can't be happy.
Yeah, whatever's in his mind right now, we probably couldn't say over the air.
And that is incomplete. The coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. The Raiders had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine.
He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. It's a pretty nice throw right there from the rookie. And this, of course, is game number 2 of his NFL career. His guys did not get the win, Charles, in the opener. But what did you see from him last week?
Well, I think all things considered, he played pretty well. And I don't think I'll pin the loss on him. But there's no question, this is a learning process, and that was step 1, and he's hoping on the road to glory.
You look at this Niner defense. They currently sit at number 4 in the NFL in terms of stopping the run.
We know it's only week 1, but the results look pretty good so far. The key is, can they do it week in and week out? Because right now, they're not awarding any championships or trophies after 1 week of performance. Got some nice young faces playing for them. Let's see if they can get this going.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
An extra DB for the 49ers now on 3rd. Back to throw here. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 43. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now.
Well, it's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 43. And he'll bring this one inside the 35. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting one more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was. And now it's third down.
They're going to look to throw. Short throw caught by Bowers. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 26. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
First and 10 at the 26-yard line.
On the give, Gianti. And he'll be taken down here as it will take us to the end of the first quarter. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter from Vegas. The homestanding Raiders with a football here, as they are looking at a 2nd down and 6 coming up. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown, Raiders. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Raiders go 98 yards and finish it off in the end zone. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0.
49ers nothing.
The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
At their own 24-yard line.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown. So decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
18. Watch out. Yellow.
Purdy looking to throw. Here's a diving catch right side.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You circle the Pro Bowl. Without a doubt, that's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Purdy now to throw. Complete on a deep ball.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you're coming off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession, it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
And this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. So for this offense, Charles, remember drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute. But did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it. And afterwards, they'll say, there was never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
On the give, Gianti. Only a couple there, so he brought it down about the 28. 2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed on by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on third down to keep the drive going. Now a 3rd and 6. They'll look to throw here. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt.
Formation for the Raiders.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away.
The Niners take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I hope you're feeling okay. And past the 40 before it's out of bounds. They'll get a dozen there, and it's a 1st down, 49ers.
These guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
That's caught left side by the tight end, Ray. Goes down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd and very short.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Now Purdy. From left side, it's complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. That one goes for 24 yards.
1st and goal, San Francisco.
This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. A great play there. His 1st touchdown here of the new campaign. And the 49ers get a late score here in the final minute of the 1st half. Piñeiro's extra point up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7. of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And with a 7-point lead, they'll likely look to take this to the locker room and not really press the issue. And he just pushes way forward for a few as the clock will run. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. From the 39-yard line, here comes second down at 6. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Bowers. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
Now a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Facing some long odds here if they hope to convert, as they're well behind the original line of scrimmage. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Formation for the Raiders.
Cole now on to punt, and he sends this one away. This is taken around the 12. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Touchdown ball game, 14-7 our scores. We get back at it on EA Sports. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he probably wishes he would have sat on that one. Instead, he's only able to get this up beyond the 15-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Another toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turn around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a game. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
That's the kind of play this offense desperately needed. They've got to be saying, our defense has kept us in the ball game. We're down, but we're certainly not out. And maybe that was the spark that they've been searching for.
Watch out! Here we go, here we go. Here we go.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he got in the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
Here now, 2nd and 4.
Get set, get set. 18! Yellow.
Purdy will set up to throw it here. Oh, he's thinking end zone for Evans. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Raiders are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
First and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And their defense just helped them out by getting the football back on the opening drive here in the second half. And now can the offense follow through with points on their first possession?
And that's a big one for them because after the work the defense has done, they've got a chance here to open up this lead.
At the 27-yard line. A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Now a handoff to Genty. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. They'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Right at the line of scrimmage.
Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Let's go now.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
I like the play design there. They occupied the defense downfield, everyone trying to account for someone. But unfortunately, they didn't account for the running back slipping out of the backfield, and he was absolutely unnoticed and wound up getting big yards on that play.
Here's a toss to Genty, headed right. And they get him down right near the midfield stripe. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
It's a gain of 9.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
They'll run with Genty. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. They can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short. They'll try to run for it with Genty. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. 61 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They were looking at that front 7 reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense is a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Second-round pick leading this offense well, and it'll be a first down. A run, it's Genty. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
An awful lot of congestion in the middle third of the field, but how about our defensive tackle right there? He didn't just hold the line, he provided some push and smacked the ball carrier down for a loss.
Now from the 9, here's second and goal. He'll look to throw. They'll try and set up the screen to Genty. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal. It's a quarterback sneak, and he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out, and the Raiders have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this fourth quarter. Carlson on for the PAT. It's good, and it is now 21-7.
Makes the score Raiders 21, 49ers 7.
On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
The Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Well, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone. It looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus